Here are important guidelines to keep in mind as you embrace the challenges of online classes. 1. Set up a good working space. It is important that the place is quiet, clear, and free from distractions. 2. Make yourself look good online. Wear clothes the way you do when you go to school for in-person classes. 3. Have a respectful tone. When communicating with your teachers and classmates, observe a certain level of formality. Use respectful greetings and signatures like Good morning, Mr. Dow, Hi, Ms. Taylor, please, and thank you. 4. Be kind and be professional. Make it a point to be respectful in your comments even if you disagree with others. Conduct yourself in an online class with the same respect, politeness, and professionalism that you would exhibit in a real-life classroom. 5. Properly use your webcam and microphone. It's good to show your face to give the impression that you're actively engaged with the lesson. Turn your microphone off when your teacher or others are speaking. This will eliminate background noise that can be distracting. 6. Properly use the chat box. Don't post irrelevant remarks. Instead, use the chat box to clarify misconceptions or share great ideas you have about the topic at hand. Don't yell by typing in all caps. In most situations, typing in all caps is perceived as inappropriate. 7. Always make an effort to use proper punctuation, spelling, and grammar. Observing these ensures clear expression of your thoughts or ideas. 8. Make sure to submit your assignments the proper way. Knowing how to properly submit your work online is key to your success as an online student. 9. Take time to read. When asked to comment on a post, take some time to read through each of the previous discussion post responses before writing your own response. And 10. Think before you type. What you share in an online classroom becomes part of a digital record. I hope that you observe these guidelines to help you in your online learning. May you have a wonderful school year.
Good morning, learners. It feels so great to be with you today again. I am Sir Aaron John Cortez, your English teacher. In this session, I will take you to another fun-filled and exciting learning journey.
Your module number 2 has something to do with using conditionals in expressing arguments. At the end of this module, you are expected to: number 1, recognize the use of the word if in conditional sentences. Number 2, identify the distinguishing functions of type 1 conditionals. And lastly, for number 3, use the correct form of the verb in type 1 conditional sentences.
So what are you waiting for? Get hold on your module, paper, notebook, and ball pen. Together, we will unravel all the learning tasks which you will surely enjoy while at the same time learning. Now, it's time for us to measure your prior knowledge about the topic using the activity from what I know.
For your pre-assessment, look at the pictures below and guess what will be the appropriate clause to complete the sentence. Write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. For number 1, if soap and water are not available, then A. Clean your hands with an alcohol. B. Cleanse your hand with a alcohol. C. Clean your hand with an alcohol. Number 2. If you have a fever, cough, and other symptoms, then A. You might have COVID-19. B. You must have COVID-19. And lastly, for letter C, you have COVID-19. For number 3, if you think you have been exposed to COVID-19, then A. Contact your healthcare provider. B. Contact your healthcare provider. C. Contact your healthcare provider. Number 4. If you have an emergency warning sign, then A. Get emergency medical care. B. Get emergency medical care. C. Gotten emergency medical care. Lastly, for number 5, if you are exposed outside, then A. Avoid touching your face. B. Avoid touching your faces. C. Avoid touching your face. You will be given 1 minute to answer these questions. And your timer starts now.
Oops, time's up. Let us now check your answers. The following are the answers for your pre-assessment. Good job, class. You are absolutely fantastic. For some learners, conditionals can be a bit confusing. Most native speakers don't even realize what a conditional sentence is when they use one. So, what do you need to know? Exactly! A few tips and a practice, then you'll be good to go. Let us now look back from your previous lesson using what's in activity. For your what's in activity, color the heart if you experience the same scenario below. Do this in your answer sheet. You will be given 1 minute to finish this task, and your timer starts now. Oops, time's up. Let us now check your answers. The answer for what's in will be checked by your teacher individually. Good job, class! You are absolutely fantastic. Are you now ready and excited to do your initial task? If so, let's get started. Let us now try to examine the illustration below. Are you still confused with conditionals? Conditionals depend on how real or possible the situation is in the eyes of the speaker. This lesson will give you an overview on using conditionals in an argument. Let us now dig deeper about the topic, using what is it? To begin, let us try to examine these conditional sentences and their functions. What do the sentences have in common? Although these sentences perform different functions, they share a common feature. All conditionals include a cause and effect relationship. The cause is the part of each sentence that describe a condition or a situation. This part of the conditional is called the condition clause and usually begins with the word if or an equivalent phrase like as long as or in the event that. On the other hand, we have the effect. The effect part of the conditional is called the result clause, which explains an outcome that is dependent on the condition described in other parts of the sentence. For instance, if you mix red paint and blue paint together, you get purple paint. Again, if you mix
red paint and blue paint together, you get purple paint. Can you make a wild guess? Where is our condition clause and where is our result clause? Very good. Our condition clause in this sentence is if you mix red paint and blue paint together. Aside from the fact that it's being preceded by the word if, it is also the phrase that contains the idea of what to do before a certain thing happens. On the other side, we have the result clause, which is you get purple paint. It is our result clause because it clearly shows the effect of what will happen right after doing a certain condition. Take note, the condition clause and result clause can be placed in any order. For example, look at sentences A and B below. Do they have the same meaning? For sentence A, she will pass the class if she studies and does her homework. Again, she will pass the class if she studies and does her homework. For sentence B, if she studies and does her homework, she will pass the class. For sentence B, if she studies and does her homework, she will pass the class. Notice that if condition clause comes first, it is always followed by a comma, just like what we have in sentence B. But if our result clause is located at the beginning of the sentence, we do not need to use a comma, just like sentence A. Furthermore, a conditional statement is in its most easily recognized form, an if-then statement. Take a look at the following sentences. Number 1. If you study, then you'll pass. Clearly it says that studying is sufficient for passing. It's not so clear that it says passing is necessary for studying. And in fact, it sounds peculiar because passing is something that happens after you study. And it seems odd to suggest that the occurrence of the latter event is necessary for the occurrence of an earlier event. How can it be that my ability to study now depends upon something happening in the future? Number 2. If you didn't pass, then you couldn't have studied. When one thing is necessary for another thing, that means that if you haven't got the first, then you haven't got the second. Water, for example, is necessary for plant life. No water, no plants. Similarly, in sentence number 2, it says no pass conclusively shows no study. Hence, that passing is necessary for studying. In general, for any sentence of the form. Now, let's talk about conditionals, arguments, and inferences. Like arguments, conditionals may express inferences. Nevertheless, a conditional by itself is not an argument. The difference is that when you put forth an argument, you commit yourself to the truth of all its parts, even if only for the sake of the argument. When you assert a conditional, however, you do not commit yourself to the truth of either its antecedent or consequent. Indeed, the whole conditional can be true even if both parts are false. Look at the following conditional and argument. For sentence number 3, if you study, then you'll pass. If you pass, then you'll graduate. Therefore, if you study, you'll graduate. In general, conditionals are extremely important in the English language because they help us express things that may happen in the present and future. Conditionals serve many purposes and take several different forms. They can be used to give advice, express regret, and discuss facts, among other things. Moreover, there are 3 basic types of conditional sentences, and they are named Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. But for the meantime, let's focus first on Type 1. The other types will be discussed on the next quarter. A Type 1 conditional is a possible situation which could happen. We use Type 1 conditionals to express realistic situations, plans, and things that are very likely to happen if we do something. Unlike the previous examples, a Type 1 conditional uses will instead of would. Usually, this conditional uses present tense verb for the condition clause and a future tense verb for the result clause. For instance, if I eat all the chocolates, I will feel sick tomorrow. Again, if I eat all the chocolates, I will feel sick tomorrow. In that example, I'm imagining a situation that will certainly happen. I will definitely sick tomorrow if I eat all the chocolates. Maybe I shouldn't eat that chocolates then. Another example is this. If I study hard, I will pass the exam. Again, if I study hard, I will pass the exam. Hard work pays off. Passing an exam is likely the result of studying hard.
That's all for our discussion. I hope you were able to jot down all the necessary information needed for our next activities.
For your independent activity 1, match column A with column B to form conditional sentences correctly. Write only the letter of the correct answer. Do this on your answer sheet. The independent activity number 2 tells you to match the if clause and result clause in each box to form the correct conditional sentences. Write the answers on your answer sheet. And lastly, for independent activity number 3, use the correct tense of the verb inside the parentheses to complete the type 1 conditionals. Do this on your answer sheet. You will be given an additional time to answer these activities, and your timer starts now.
Time's up! You really amazed me with your ideas. Since your answers may vary from this activity, Evaluation and checking of your answers will also be done right after this video.
Let us now reflect about your learning using what I have learned. For your What I Have Learned activity, draw a happy face if the sentence tells a correct idea about conditionals, and sad face if it doesn't. Do this on your answer sheet. You will be given 1 minute to accomplish this task, and your timer starts now.
Evaluation and checking of your answers will be done right after this video.
It's time to put everything into action using What I Can Do. For your What I Can Do activity, put a check if you agree with the meaning of the sentence and cross if you don't. Do this on your answer sheet. You will be given 1 minute to finish this task, and your timer starts now.
Evaluation and checking will also be done right after this video.
Let us now assess your overall learning about the topic we discussed using your activities under final assessment. For your final assessment, read each given condition, then pair it up with its correct result clause. Choose the best answer by writing the letter of your choice on your answer sheet. You will be given an additional time to finish this activity, and your timer starts now.
Evaluation and checking will also be done right after this video.
And for your assignment, read Rudyard Kipling's poem entitled If. Construct at least 3 Type 1 conditionals based on the poem. Be guided with a given example. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper.
And that's all for today. I hope you learn and enjoy a lot about this session. Thank you for your cooperation. Till next time, bye!